If I don't wake up in the morning and do what I need to do, I'm not getting anything done. I'm not getting business. People aren't just calling me all the time, but I have that drive, and that trade-off, that lifestyle that I get from it is perfect for me. So.
Yeah, you're a grinder. Yeah, totally. I love that belt you're wearing.
Thanks, brother.
It's really fancy. You guys always looking good.
Hey, you got to look the part.
Yeah, you definitely look the part because you come from a real estate family, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So real estate's been, basically my whole life. So ever since I was a kid, it's all I've known, all I've been surrounded by. And initially I didn't. I was one of those guys who were like, hey, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna create my own path. I'm gonna go out on my own journey and venture, find my own thing. And full circle, came back around to it, and never been happy, and never found a better fit for myself. So
yeah, cool. Right. So you're so we had your brother on a while
ago.
Yeah. But you guys, real estate family. Yep. Grew up in it. Your parents have been in it a long time, right?
Yep. Yeah, parents both been doing it for probably about 40 years or so. So quite a while. And like I said, my brother jumped into it too, and he started killing it. Pretty much right away. And I was like, I'm gonna be that guy who does his own thing. So I went to St. Thomas, got my business degree, and tried out a few corporate gigs, and I was like, people that love it, glad you love it. But for me, I was like, this is not for me. I am a active people person. Like, I need to be out there. I need to be moving. I need to be active. And I love, just that environment of being able to help people. And the biggest thing for me is like, it is the similar stuff, but every day, every situation is different. I'm meeting different people. I'm showing different houses. I'm in different locations, different areas, building different relationships. And that is kind of what keeps me going, keeps me motivated, always moving. So, yeah, full circle, like I said, just finding that fit for me that fits not only just who I am in my lifestyle in general. I'll trade off happily, nights, weekends, being on call all the time for, it's 11:30 on a Tuesday and I don't have anything going. I'm hitting the gym, stuff like that. Like, I love that flexibility that I have. So.
Totally. I mean, younger in my career, that's exactly how it was too, right? Like, I'll work whenever, when I'm not tied down with the family or anything like that. Then I'd be working out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's great. It's nothing better.
Or I'll sleep in today because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Worked hard yesterday.
It's like Thursday winter, for example. Like Thursday winter, it's like, oh, I don't have any appointments today. I'm gonna go snowboarding for a little bit. Just stuff like that. Of some people hate that because they want that structure. But for me, just finding that flexibility of something that I didn't initially think that I'd be involved in, and then coming around to it and being like, wow, this is exactly what I want, and this is exactly what I could be doing the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's the spiral trap though, realtors. Yeah. Of being able to be a cowgirl with no structure.
Yep.
So then you have to be able to pull yourself back in.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
It takes a very specific person. That's something that I realize. I've had so many friends, family, just people that I'm surrounded with who are like, either try it or just ask me. They're like, I don't know how you do it. And I'm just like, for me, this is it. Like, this is what I love. I'm very driven. I wake up every morning, and it's like, it takes that person who just like you do. It's like, if I don't wake up in the morning and do what I need to do, I'm not getting anything done. I'm not getting business. People aren't just calling me all the time. But I have that drive, and that trade-off, that lifestyle that I get from it is perfect for me. So
yeah, you're a grinder.
Yeah,
I love that. I love it. Right, like chip off the old shoulder for me, like how I am.
Yeah,
and so I feel like it takes one to see one.
Yeah,
right. Like two of just being able to feel that edge and a little chip.
Well,
that you got.
Yeah,
to get after it.
And versus corporate, like, again, no hate on it or anything like that, but it's like there's that ceiling there of, I think how it should be is if you get that 40 hours of work done in 25 hours, then good for you. You did great. Like, you're done with it. Versus for me, like, I don't want to have that ceiling. It's like, some days if I'm feeling it, like, I want to be going 60 hours. I want to be getting those extra clients. I want to be grinding. And I see that, that potential of real estate and, jobs like that, if there is no set ceiling. And that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah. That's why I didn't like, I was a union iron worker.
Okay.
And it didn't work well for me.
Yeah.
For the fact that I just get after it.
Yeah.
Hustle, work my ass off.
Yeah.
And then we put our 40 hours in, you'd work circles around the guy next to you. It's an honorable job, right? Like those people that, it's a good career.
Yep.
But for me, it was like, okay, what's next? And like, well, you worked really hard. So what we're going to give you is overtime this week. And it's like, wait a second. Like, I'm going to work hard for the opportunity to work more.
Yeah.
Right. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, so for me, it's like, there's a better way.
Yep.
Right. Like, it's like in our business, it's like your input can can exponentially return your output
Exactly.
for your income,
And
right?
it's just all on yourself.
Yeah.
You reap the rewards of the work that you put in. It's like, oh, you're not where you want to be. Sure, there are some unlucky things, but it ultimately just comes down to you're not doing the right things or doing enough of those things to be in that situation where you need to be, where it's like, I can look at myself inwardly and be like, oh, I didn't, do anything this week or this month. It's like, what was I doing wrong, or why was I not working enough to get there? Because it's only me, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I need to be doing more, and there's no one else to blame for it when you're kind of, self-employed, self-driven. So
Yeah, so you brought up a really good point. So even though like you come from this real estate family, like your business is your business.
Yep.
It's not you getting fed business from your parents or your brother. You are driving, you might get some opportunities at an open house or something.
Yep.
Really from your brother, not your dad or your mom. Right?
Yep.
God bless them, but it's just not that way, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
And they've earned that, they're in that situation where, but
Yeah.
no, 100%. And, that's a common thing of, is it fed on a silver spoon? Absolutely not. Did I get some ins into real estate that some other people might not have? Absolutely. That's what comes with having 40 years, but neither of them are like, hey, here you go, here's business. That's not how real estate works. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, but by ends, it's not like here's a listing,
Exactly.
like all these listing
Yeah,
leads.
it's like, here's
Right.
some knowledge. Now you use this knowledge, use this expertise to make something of yourself. And that's my biggest thing for, a young agent or up and coming agent too. It's just like, put that pride aside, do what you need to do, reach out to people. It's like, top agents, top lenders, they're all happy to help. Like, as soon as I met you, you're just like, oh yeah, happy to help you. We want to grow together. We want to earn together. And that's, any good real estate agent's going to be the same. So it's like, join that team, think long-term rather than short-term, to how you can grow yourself.
Yeah, mindset on that is everything, and that can be taught over time on what you're talking about. But sometimes you just kind of have that, or you don't, in terms of that grind, right?
Yeah,
Like
couldn't
you can
agree
have
more.
all the skills, but that mindset of that killer, I want to get after it, I want to grow more.
Yep.
Like it can be inspired over time,
Sure.
like absolutely, or like give an event or something. But there's just something inside that you have that makes you want to do that. And I think the consumer or the client feels that and sees that too. Like, so for you, what I'm always really impressed by is you will be hosting an open house, and on how many people you get to work with you at an open house or like a random experience. I remember one client, you literally were showing a house
Yep.
and the person they just asked you a couple questions it wasn't even an open house, was it?
It was an open door listing, but yeah, no, exactly. Like a couple things off that of, it's number one, just kind of finding your niche of, what is successful for you might not always be successful for other people, and vice versa. There's not one, in my opinion, there's not one right way to do things. So finding, what works for you. And I realized, after trying so many things, what works for me is getting in front of people. I know when I get in front of you, like, we're going to get along, and I'm going to build that trust. I'm going to build that reputation. We're going to build that relationship, and you're going to want to work with me because I'm going to show you like what makes me different and, how I can provide for you. And, I found that through open houses. For me, that's great because I get to meet these people in person. And I can't tell you, how many open houses that I've went through, and, the agent or the person there just sits there, doesn't say a word, or just like, hey, where it's like, I'll go up there, hey, how's it going? I'm not being intrusive, but at the same time, these people are taking time out of their day to check this house out. They're obviously looking for a house at some point. So I'm already there. Why would I waste my time just sitting on my computer or sitting on my phone? It's like, I want to have a conversation with these guys, see why they're here, see what I can do to help, see if they have any questions, just make it comfortable for them. And then they end up staying a while. And then, yeah, I mean, right now I have 3 active clients looking from 3 different open houses that I've had over the past, 6 months. And now here they are actively looking. I showed them all this week, and they might have had, working with someone or talking with someone, but, after just going through my open house, they're like, I want to work with you. But yeah, back to that open door house too. I was with a couple clients, and I was showing them a listing by Open Door, and Open Door is doing, I don't even know if they still are, but where they let the public in with like an access code during certain days, certain hours, whatever. I don't know how it works, but showing my clients in there, I walk in, there's another couple in there, and I can see this, they're just by themselves, and I'm just talking with my clients, just like how it standardly is, almost pretending like they're not there. I'm with my clients, so I'm doing my due diligence to them, but I'm just explaining things. I'm providing value to these clients that, I can tell these people over here are just like,
They're over there. Like,
yeah, there's
yeah,
like,
they're like, what is he
I've
saying?
never heard this before. Our
Yeah.
agent has never, you know,
Yeah.
said any of this stuff or made us aware of any of this stuff. And, you know, I'm not talking someone into the house. I'm pointing out, you know, what's wrong with it. I want them to find them a home. And I remember we're leaving the house. We're on the way to the next one. And they're just like, hey, you know, they kind of stopped me. And I'm just like, hey, you know, I'm with clients right now. Here's my card. Give me a call. You know, I owe my duty to the clients I'm currently with, but, you know, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. And so we headed off to the next showing. And the next day, those people called me and they're just like, hey, like I've never experienced that before or seen, you know, what you were doing or what you were talking about and your knowledge and your expertise before. Like, would you be open to working with us? And I was like, you know, we start chatting and I'm like, yeah, for sure. And they're like, by the way, we need a house in like 10 days.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
so
Yeah.
that day I sent them over to you. They got approved through you. I probably showed them, you know, they're like, what's your availability? Or I'm almost like, let's get it done. You know,
Yeah.
so I showed them probably 25 houses in, you know, 7 to 10 days. And
Yeah. A few of them didn't work out.
yeah, a lot of
I
them
feel
didn't
like
work
we
out.
closed in less than 3 weeks,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was a quick one. And,
Yeah.
you know, they bought for like 460, 465. And in my opinion, like that's all just from, you know, stepping out of that comfort zone, just a little bit. You know, if I never gave them my card, I'm not crossing over any lines, but if I never gave them my card, they would have never had my info. They would have never called me. But it's just, you know, taking that step. They don't call me. Who cares? You know, I'm already with my clients, but, you know, just doing something a little bit above, a little bit beyond, and just being me and, you know, providing value to the clients that I already have and just getting out there is kind of the difference for sure.
Yeah. And I just saw them at our client appreciation party this weekend.
Awesome.
Our movie event.
Amazing.
They
Let's
came
go.
and I got a chance to talk to them real
Yeah,
quick.
great
And they were
people.
saying- yeah. They were loving the house.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So they had the whole crew there, the whole family.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
I
that's
love
super
that.
awesome.
Yep.
So for right now, you know, it seems like the buy side of the market. So, you know, people are looking to buy a new home. It's changing. Mm-hmm. Like inventory. I notice inventory right now is the same amount of inventory as we had this spring.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see a loosening up of that. So what are you seeing? What are the opportunities right now?
I mean, for me, it's in for buyers. Like right now, you know, I think right now, time of year wise, it's a good time for buyers. As far as listings, there might not be as many, but you know, opportunity of not as many people moving. You know, it's a great time where you know you get a great agent. They can start beating people up on price terms and get you that good deal, which is always a good time. You love to get deals and
Yeah, but not every agent does that though.
no,
So
absolutely.
like that is the differentiator. I feel like lately, especially with these new National Association of Realtor changes, some agents have been getting a bad name,
Yeah.
right? Because of the crappy ones,
I-
right? Like not because of the good ones. People aren't
100%.
complaining about the good ones.
Yeah.
It's the bad ones, right? Like so then the good ones that are actually providing value, right? Knowing how to negotiate, knowing when to say not this one,
Yep.
right?
I mean, yeah, with the new rules, I think for consumers, it's more important than ever of, you know, selecting a realtor that you know has your best interest in mind and has that expertise and has that knowledge to be able to do stuff that the average agent doesn't even know about. But for that lower, you know, 50% or so, they're getting killed. And, you know, for that upper end, they're getting even more business because it's so important of who you work with. And for me, you know, just providing the value to these people and offering them options like, you know, closing cost, seller concessions, these minor terms above and beyond just price that I work out and negotiate with that they've never even heard of. But I'm going to take that extra time out of my day to do that for them and explain that to them, walk them through it. Because if I can give them a better deal, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. And it goes beyond just, you know, selling one house. You know, I'm talking you out of 20 houses before I'm like, hey, this is the one. And, you know, what you get from that is, you know, that trust forever. And not only one house, now they're telling their friends, they're telling their family about me, and they're like, this is the best realtor ever. He walked me through this stuff. He took so much time. You know, he had a great lender. He had a great team behind him that walked us through and held our hand through this whole entire thing. And they got us these closing costs to, you know, get a rate buy down or whatever that we never even knew was a thing. And, you know, that's 2024, half my business was off referrals. And, you know, being kind of younger, newer in the game, it's like, most people think that's crazy, but
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like as you're newer.
Yeah.
Because usually you got to like build up each new client and then eventually get referrals.
Yeah.
But if they're referring you right away, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's great. So where do you think, where are things going? Like, what do you think 2025 for buyers? What do you think that's going to look like?
I think like back to what you were saying, kind of, you know, right now, I think it's awesome for me and for my buyers. You know, we go out, we see a house we like, there's a 90% chance that we're going to get it, which, in previous years, that wasn't a thing. You're getting 15, 20 offers on a house. You get all excited for something just for nothing. I feel like my success rate was higher just, by going above and beyond, talking to the other agents, building relationships, making strong offers. But, still even then it's a 50-50. Going into 2025, I think, once that spring market, it's almost coming already. Like it's already picking up quite a bit, but I think it's going to get busier again. I don't think it's going to be that crazy, 20, 30 offers that it was. And I hope not, because that's, not a good time to be a buyer.
Yeah. That sucked for everybody. Right, except for the seller.
It did.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
seller, great. Good
yeah,
for you.
yeah, but for everybody, the lender, the realtor, most importantly, the consumer.
Yep.
You just got let down constantly.
All
And
the
then
time.
people bought houses they didn't even like.
Can't tell you how many people could they just settle on something. You lose 10 offers, you're just like, shoot, well, we need to be in something.
Yeah.
And now, now they're regretting it, and they overpaid for that house, and now that house is
Some of them are stuck.
yeah, and
I think some of them might, if they can get out of some of these houses, we're starting to have conversations. Like you said, they said maybe they even bought cheaper than what they thought. It's like, all right, I really got to upgrade now.
Yeah.
Like, and get to, we had the second kid, and we got to move on.
Yeah.
Right. We never liked it from the day we moved in.
No,
And you probably have these
it's so common,
conversations too, right?
yeah, and that's my, not setting someone up in a house, but I can't tell you how many people will, have that conversation where, someone else got me in this house, I lost 10 offers, I just gave up, I needed a place to stay or just wanted to buy something, and there's
All right, I got pressured.
Yeah.
It was like, because it was like you had no time to think. It's like, okay, you're looking at this house.
15 minutes.
You got 15 minutes, no inspection.
Yep.
And you have to decide in 1 hour.
Yep.
And how much do you want to make and how much over? And there's so much pressure.
Yep.
And then they would just give and make an offer and then be like, well, this wasn't even the right location.
Yep.
Right, on my job's going to be over here. Right,
Just doing it to get in there.
yeah. So I'm so happy for that people don't have to
1,000%. Yeah.
Way better buying experience.
100%. And just going out there like right now, and we see
Except
how
you don't get the rate. You don't get the rate.
Trade-offs,
right? Like
trade-offs.
there's a trade-off, but you might be able to pick it up.
You find that house you like though, and I'm just like, hey, I'm pretty confident that I can get this for you. And if it's been sitting, I'm pretty confident that not only can I get it for you, but we can get very favorable terms and conditions and stuff. So I think it is a great time to be a buyer. I think 2025 is going to pick up, but I don't think it'll, like I said, I don't think it'll be back to that crazy timing that it was.
So you guys do some cool tactics between you and your brother. Like some of your guys' negotiating tactics are very ballsy and like a little more hard nosed. And I think that's probably just style of building the confidence like in you, and maybe having some of your parents to be able to like coach you up early.
Yep.
To be able to come in with that much confidence as a younger agent.
Yep.
Whereas sometimes you gotta like you have to like internally build that up.
100%.
Yeah, versus they're like, no, you just do it this way. Like one that I loved that has worked quite a few times is there's a timeline on the offer, and if you don't respond, we're taking our offer off the table.
Yeah.
So they don't shop you. Like if you're like showing Friday morning, you'll make an offer and be like, you need to respond by 9, otherwise we're pulling our offer.
Yeah.
Right? So then they don't shop it over the weekend at an open house.
Yeah.
Right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I see so many houses that, they're sitting 30, 40 days, and then I just pay attention to the market, everything like that. And, a house is listed, let's say it's listed at 350, and then it sits on the market 40 days, no price drop, and then someone makes an offer and it closes at 350. And I'm just like, do you really have your buyer's best interests in mind? You know what I mean? It's like, you could definitely beat them up on that. You just don't want to put in that extra work and time where I'll gladly be a bulldog. It's like, I don't care about the seller or, if I'm representing my buyer, my job is to do the best I can for them and, get the terms and conditions in their favor. And if I can get you an extra 5, 10, 15 grand, I'll put in extra hours of work to get that done for you. And I have no, I'm not afraid to do that. It's like, this is my job. This is why you're hiring me to work for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, the best realtors are the best negotiators.
Yeah.
Right? Of being able to understand where the line is to push.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you never want to
versus being like, but some people who are so timid.
Exactly.
They're terrible negotiators.
Yeah.
Might be nice people, but they just don't know how to negotiate.
Yeah, let's offer list. It's like, no, we're not doing that. It's like, hey, I'm here to get you a good deal, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be that bulldog. I'm going to be the one fighting in your corner.
Yeah.
It doesn't make the buyer look bad by any means. It's just like, hey, I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to try to get you guys a deal for sure.
Yeah, but respectful, though, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
1,000%.
you're still communicating.
Yep.
Like some agents will, like, negotiate without relationship or even communicate with anybody. It's kind of interesting to watch from the outside.
I can't tell you even listings wise. How many agents will just send over an offer and they haven't called me, they haven't texted me, they have no info on the house at all. They just showed it this one time. And to me, that blows my mind, because someone like me I'm doing all my research beforehand, before my showing. I'm preparing so I can provide my clients that extra value that they might not know otherwise. And then, after that showing, if there is a little bit of, even a little bit of interest, I'm going to reach out to the other agent. I'm going to have a conversation with them. I'm going to build a little bit of a relationship with them so they know me, they trust me, they talked to me already, and, find out some extra information for my client, find out, if they have any other offers, if there's any deadlines, what kind of closing date, how we can shape our offer to have the best chance. It's just kind of, in my opinion, just going above and beyond and doing what some people don't. But yeah, I don't know. I think just reaching out, having that conversation with that other agent, just to build a little bit of relationship, for sure is very beneficial for everyone.
Cool. I like your edge and your energy that you're bringing here. So what do you do right now to keep yourself, like, are you like a daily practice kind of guy on like keeping yourself in a good, energetic mindset? Like, what do you do for yourself right now?
As far as just like kind of day-to-day routine.
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about real estate in general is, like I said, every day is kind of different. So I always just build my day. I have things that I want to do. The timing always changes. But in general, it's like, wake up, I eat a good breakfast. I'll work for, probably 2 hours of just kind of back end stuff, either paperwork, making calls, following up with clients. And then, it's usually around 11, 12 o'clock, I kind of hit a wall. And then I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to go to the gym. Go to the gym, hour and a half, 2 hours, grab lunch, come back, working again, and then off to appointments or whatever it is. That's pretty standard routine. And I think, finding that number one work-life balance of, people are like, oh, how do you have the time for this? It's like, there's time for literally everything. I have a great social life. I have great friends, great family. I have tons of fun. I travel all the time. But I still find that time to work out 6 days a week. And I still find that time where I'm working 7 days a week as well. So there's time for it all. You just got to find that structure, that balance, and, almost time management as well.
Yeah. You remind me a lot of me. Until I had a wife and kids, I was like, I got to get really good.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to get better.
Like, just like militant level of structure. So I love that. So for you, are you a reader? Do you podcast anything?
Not too much. No.
Okay.
Not too much.
All right. So for you, it's more of like, so where you find your inspiration for like sales and marketing tactics, stuff like that?
I mean, honestly, my inspiration, I like hearing other things. I like, just always learning. I think you can always learn, grow, and adapt. I think in real estate and, any profession, when you get to a point, it's easy to get comfortable, but that's just not how my mind works. And I think, if you're not moving forward, you are moving backwards. There's no such thing as staying the same. So I constantly just want to become better. And, real estate market, as any market's always changing. So, just having that mindset of, I can always be better. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to become the best me I can be, is kind of what keeps me going. I think of, this might sound cringe or whatever. I think of life as almost as like a video game. You play your basketball 2K or you play your Call of Duty. It's like you're trying to level up your character. You're trying to get these camouflage skins or whatever, but it's like, you have that in real life. I want to make myself 99 overall. I want to unlock every single, camo or whatever in real life that I can. I want to be better, faster, stronger, smarter than I was yesterday. And that's kind of what keeps me going here.
Yeah, I love it. Where do you think you're going to go? How big do you think your business is going to be?
I do have ideas. I do have plans, of course. I'm sure you're the same way. It's just always something churning. I think I found my passion in real estate, and I think finding your passion in life is extremely important, but it boils down to more than real estate. My passion comes from just helping people in general, and in real estate wise, it's like I'm helping people with their biggest financial decision of their life. I think that's pretty fulfilling. But finding your passion's what makes you feel whole, and what makes me feel whole is being able to help people, guide people, stuff like that. So, I think real estate, I want to expand our team this year, take on some new agents, grow there, and then, maybe grow other places. And then above and beyond that, just, advance my career and be able to give back, help others out. That's kind of,
you guys going to leverage? You're going to hire more staff?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to a point this year where we're going to need more people on. I mean, we're already overwhelmed and that's a good thing. That's a bad, that's a good problem to have. It's not a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
thing, but we're at a point where we could have 3 agents under us and it wouldn't take away any business that we do. Like we have that many, and then we have, the systems in place and the routines. It's just like, does someone else want to put in the work? And I'm happy to help. I'm happy to coach. I'm happy to lead. I'm happy to guide. I'm happy to mentor, but I'm not going to babysit you if you don't have that drive and have that desire. So yeah, I think this year will be an expansion year for us and our team. And I think that'll be good.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think values are going up, staying the same? What do you think is going to happen for home value?
Right now, I think it's kind of, it's almost staying pretty consistent. I think once this 2025 rolls around, I think it's gonna start increasing again, especially once, this weather goes away. I think that spring market's gonna bounce up, get the buyers out of hibernation, and if rates are, they're not gonna go down crazy, but if they do start trickling down, and then in addition to a spring market, I think prices are gonna go up for sure.
Yeah, I think like both. If we get into the fives, I found last year when we dabbled in fives, people started talking a little bit different. Like people were a little, but we don't know when that's going to happen, right?
Exactly.
So like, but it, it seems like there's a little surge.
Yeah,
like,
I do think that's a sweet spot. I think you're exactly right. I'm on the same.
I mean,
page
if we hit
there.
like 5.5, now that's when I think there would we could jump in sales like 10%
for sure,
just driven by rate.
Yep.
Right.
Just qualifying wise, that gives so much more power to buyers. I think that'll be that 5.5 to 6%. I think is that happy medium of, it's not amazing, but it's a good enough to get people going, and that'll drive the prices up even more.
Well, it's better than a little over a year ago. We were in the eights.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like for us this time, so it's December 2024 when we're recording this, we're way busier. Like today, I got 3 pre-approval meetings stacked.
Yep.
Right. Like after this, on a Friday in December.
Yep.
In the middle of December. Right. Like that.
It is crazy.
Yeah. Like that was last year I went on vacation to Disneyland. I was like, literally at this time, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's nothing going on.
No.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm just going to go on vacation because there's no reason to be here.
100%.
And now, and that's the way it felt for two Decembers in a row, actually. So it's like, oh, this is like, there's this real world feel, right? This isn't data driven. This is just like, how busy are we?
Yep.
And we are way busier.
It does not feel like a traditional, winter holiday season right now at all. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the top producers eating more. Right? Like,
Yeah.
We're just getting more of our market share.
Sure.
So we're going to see kind of the data
Yeah.
as it's coming out, like, or is the overall market? I think it's both. I think
Okay.
there's just more activity in the market. And I think the top producers in real estate mortgage are just going to get more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're going to soak up more market share. Like, we grew by 45% this year
Love that.
over last year. And
Absolutely.
the mortgage market was down. Right? Like,
Nothing
so
better.
so that's pretty cool for sales. First mortgage purchases were down. So the market's going, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. I think it is a combination of both for sure. But yeah, for me, I mean, just even compared to last winter, it was almost like, like you said, just kind of hanging out, not super busy. But right now it's like spring market swamped if I'm showing houses every single day, which is great. I love my job. This is why I do it. But just to compare it is crazy. So that's another reason why I think, once spring actually rolls around, it's like it's not even close to spring. We're in heat of winter and it's still busy. So
Yeah. So people, they got to get ahead of that a little bit then, huh? Like
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe be planning a little earlier if you're
Yep.
thinking about selling, like talking to you guys a little bit earlier.
Yep.
Or buying.
100. Yeah, I just actually had a talk with one of my buddies this week, and he's like, "Hey, I'm thinking of buying in the next 3 to 6 months," and I was like, "I would make that more like 3." Just my advice to you, and it's not from me being a real estate agent. That's just like this is how it is. Of by the time that spring market does roll around, not only I think our price is going to go up, we could be back in multiple offer situation again. I don't think it's going to be the 20, but even if we're in 3 or 4, and you gotta get in a bidding war, it's not fun. Where right now you can still get a deal. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like if you're at all interested, in moving and you don't have something holding you back, a lease or something, like you should be looking right now.
Yep.
Like now. Like there may be less houses. You may not be able to see the grass, right? But you're going to get a better deal.
if I didn't have a house right now, I personally would be looking right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. So we didn't have a ton of time today, but dude, I really, really appreciate your
Absolutely.
insight. I just love your energy. I want you to know that. I think you're going to some huge places.
Appreciate
There's no
it.
reason why you're not going to be a $50 million a year producer in the future. I think you're just going to absolutely crush it if you just keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
So I
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.